Hi virtual passengers, this is your captain, Captain Keller speaking. It's that time of year, we're off to see Father Christmas. I would like to welcome you aboard this EasyJet flight from Manchester to Ravoniemi in Lapland. I'm sure the children are looking forward to this flight. As this is the first flight video on the channel, I thought I would give you an overview of how this and further videos will look. After you and your fellow passengers have been welcomed aboard, we will look at the flight plan. For our flight planning and monitoring of the flight, we will be using two fantastic tools, SimBrief and SimToolkit Pro. We will also use Navigraph charts to help us leave the airport on the correct route and arrive following real-life procedures as closely as possible. We then move into the cockpit and set the plane up whilst you are all boarding, before taxiing and departing on the flight. Thankfully for you, you will not have to sit through the full cruise. With the magic of technology, it will only last a few minutes. You will then join me in the cockpit again, preparing to land at the destination before taxiing to the gate, when you can disembark and enjoy the sights and sounds of the city. Sometimes we will be interacting with real people taking on the role of air traffic control. Hopefully they won't talk too fast or give us too difficult directions to follow. I'm still learning these networks, so don't be surprised if I end up asking them to repeat instructions a number of times. Our flights will follow real-life procedures as closely as possible. I'm really excited for you all to be alongside me as I learn to fly the Airbus A310, Boeing 787, the F-18 and a number of different aircraft. If you enjoy joining me on our virtual flights, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's have a look at the flight plan for today's flight. Welcome to the flight plan and the overview section of the flight. So the first thing we need to do before we put the flight plan together is have a look at where the winds are coming from. So to do that I use SimToolkit Pro, which you should be able to see up on your screen now. And we'll go and have a look at windy just to see which direction the winds are coming from. So today we're going to be flying from Manchester and we're going to be flying all the way up to the north of Finland, and we've got centre online today. And we've got ground and we've got ground on, I think they might be on VATSIM. Are they on VATSIM? Yeah, they're on VATSIM. I'm not using VATSIM today, I'm using iVal. So we will have a little bit of ATC going up over North Finland, over Finland. So let's go and have a look at the winds, see which direction they're going in. So if we scroll in roughly where Manchester is, which is up here somewhere. So we can see that the winds are coming in from the southeast. So we need to, if we can, be heading in an easterly direction. So what we're going to do now is go on to SimBrief. So let's go into edit flight, and we need to be leaving in an easterly direction. So you can see we're easy flight 1875 today, going from EGCC, which is Manchester, to Efro, which is in Finland, Lapland. And so runway wise we can go 05 will give us a crosswind from the right, 23 will give us a crosswind from the will give us a tailwind. So we don't want 23, so we want 05 left or 05 right, so might as well go 05 left. Generate the flight. So here we've got the route, and you can see that we're going to be flying basically north and then northeast all the way through. So we'll have a look at the PDF. Let me just pre-file this onto the VATSIM, onto the iVal site. So that's done, that's been submitted. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get the PDF up, and I'll just run through the PDF with you. So we're looking at a cost index of 12, we've got a cruising altitude of 39,000 feet. Fuel today is 7.5, so just over 7.5 tons. And here is our routing for today. So we're departing from 05 left, and at the moment we're landing on runway 21. We've got 130 passengers on board, zero fuel weight of 13.5, takeoff weight of 63.4 tons. And if we have a look here, have we got any step climbs to do? No, so basically it's straight up to 390. So we'll have a look at the Navigraph charts later. when we're in the cockpit. So let's go to the cockpit and prepare the plane. Okay, welcome to a cloudy Manchester. You can see EasyJet, there's a bit of snow on the ground, not many planes around on IVAL at the moment. I don't think we've got anybody on station. Just have a look. No, just on Unicom. So there's no ATIS, so we will just rely on what we've got. So a bit of snow on the ground. So let's get in, get the plane set up. So let's start first of all with getting the jetway in and get the passengers here. So turn on the power. Turn on the crew supply. Turn on the ADs. Let's get the jetway on. Catering, baggage. Yep, here it comes. Let's open up packs, get the passengers on board. And so let's close packs, let's ignore packs. Okie dokie, right, so let's start getting the plane set up, shall we? So first of all, that needs to be on to QNH. So I'm just going through my checklist. So, arm emergency lights, armed. Let's give ourselves a little bit of light in here, shall we? Just put a dim light on in there and give myself some integral lighting, because I don't know how dark it is in Ravoniemi, which is where we're flying to today. Let's just turn these up a little bit as well. So we're in the fly-by-wire A320 today. I do like this plane, I must admit. I'm hoping eventually to upgrade to the Phoenix, which I've heard is very good. Okay, so turn no smoking signs on. Let's turn the logo lights on so people know that I'm in the plane and it's live. Let's go down to the tablet, turn that on, let's start setting up the plane. Okay, so first of all we're going to go for the fuel. So if we have a look at the fuel today, some brief so you can see it. So the block fuel that we're having on board today is $7595. On real time, yep, so it'll take about 4 minutes. While we're here we might as well put in all the passengers and their payload. So passengers, we've got 130. So at the moment it's giving me a zero fuel weight of 54.8 and I need it to be at 56, so 1.2. 54.1. So I need to add another 1.9 onto that, so take that to 2,100. Should give me 55. So change that to 3,100. Got to do a little bit of mucking about on this to get it right, so that's at 56. Okay, so go for real time, we'll get the passengers boarded. Hopefully you can hear them coming through now, so that's done. As you can see, if we go outside the plane, we've got the jetway connected, we've got the baggage people loading, and we've got the catering coming on board, so everybody will have a little bit of food, which is always good to see. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go to setting up the computer. So here we go. Clear that, go to there. That's done. and then go to, I think it's in it is next, yep. So put in the arrival and departure codes. So going for EGCC / FRO. So the IRS, get that going, so it could take 8 or 9 minutes. Flight number today, we are U21875. And we've got a cost index of 12 and a cruising altitude of 390, 12 and 390. Next page. Zero fuel weight is 56. And our centre of gravity is at 24.6. Block fuel for today is 7.595. That's done. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is get the weather. So let's have a look at the weather for today. Let's see menu and weather request. Send that while we're waiting for that to come through. Well, it's come through pretty quick. Receive messages. There we go. Right, so we'll print that. We'll have a look at the printout, but we're looking at a wind of 140 at 7 knots. And then we've got few clouds at 4,900, no significant changes. And temperature currently is 2 degrees with a dew point of -1, QNH is 1013. So we'll make sure we put the anti-ice on because it was quite cloudy outside. So let's set the QNH now, 1013, 1013, 1013, that's all good. Okay. So next thing we're going to do now is put in the flight plan. So let's bring the flight plan up so that you can see it. And I'm going to scroll down and have a look, see what I can see. Too far. So flight plan for today is leaving on runway 05 left on the Pol 4 Sierra departure, out to Pol, and then on P17 to Boxer. So let's start putting that in. So flight plan. We are first of all going to go to Pol. And then after that we're going out on the airway Papa 17. So Papa 17 to Oboxa. And then after Oboxa we're going out on uniform Papa 17. And that's where we should be getting onto the approach, but we will leave the approach until we're up in the air. So if we now click on flight plan, scroll out of here, move that onto flight plan there, just move that out to 20 miles. Let's just make sure there's nothing horrendous in here. No, looks all good to me. Cool. Okay, right, so what we're now going to do is do the departure. As there's no ATC, we can pick a departure today. So let me just make sure I'm on Unicom. Yeah, 122.8. So we're going out on the Pol 4S departure from 05 left. 05 left. Alphabetical order. Pol 4 Sierra. Departure. Insert that in there. Just have a quick scan through, make sure there's no discontinuities. There it is. So if we have a look at the flight plan now. take off, left turn, right turn, and then out we go. So we're going to have a look at some Navigraph charts in a minute to see what the departures are like. Okay, so that all looks good. Good. Okay, put that back onto arc. 10 miles, so I know which way I'm going. Right, so the next thing we're going to look at is Navigraph. So let me just bring up the Navigraph charts, and we'll have a look at the Pol 4S departure, just so we can find out what we're doing. So Pol 4S, go out on a bearing of 052 degrees, turn left to a 001 degree, and I've got to be between 4 and 5,000, and then at Pol I've got to be at 5,000, so we don't want to be going above 5,000 really. After that, assuming there's no ATC, we'll then climb up to our cruising altitude to 39,000. Okay. Right, so that's that done and dusted. I'll put in the standard instrument departure. So all that's left to do now is set up the performance of the plane. I'm guessing that passengers are still coming on. Have we got them all on yet? Refueling has stopped. Passengers, we've got them all on as well. Good, so we can get rid of the jetway. So let's turn on the fuel pumps. Turn on the seatbelt sign. Get rid of the jetway. Catering and baggage. Okay, that's all done. And now let's set up the plane, set up the performance page. So to do that, I use another site through my SimBrief toolkit. So if we go into performance, so I should bring up SimBrief toolkit now, and then we can have a look and see what I'm using. So SimBrief toolkit. So we're going to use the calculator. So we're using an A320. We've got a gross weight today of, where's my flight plan gone? We've got a gross takeoff weight today of 63.4. Centre of gravity is at 24.6. We will be using flaps 1, we will be using anti-ice on the engine. Actually, I'll go and turn those on now while I remember. Wing, engine 1, 2 and Propies, just that they're on before we take off. Air conditioner will be off. Airport is Manchester, which is okay. We're taking off from runway 05 left. So the runway length on that is, where's my Navigraph chart? Runway length on 05 left is 10,000 feet. The runway heading is, scrolling a bit, 052. It's wet because it's got snow on there. Airport elevation of 256 feet. QNH is 1013. Temperature is 2 degrees. So calculate. What was my weight again? 64,400, wasn't it? Takeoff weight 63,400. Okay, here we go. Right, so V speeds. We have got a V1 speed of 143. Rotate speed of 150. We've got a V2 speed of 155. I'll put in the transition altitude in a minute. We've got flaps 1 and we've got trim up of 0.8. We're flexing to temp 67 degrees, that's quite hot. Engine out is 1056. And thrust reduction will be 1056. So that should go into there. 1060, that's fine. 10, 56. 1056. In there. Since the thrust reduction altitudes. Lovely. Okay, right, so on that. Right, let's start the APU. So that's the pushback setup. Okay, so hopefully just waiting for the EPU to be sorted. Once that is, then we're going to get pushback. APU is available. APU bleed on. External power off. Okay. Right, let us prep for moving.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Manchester traffic, this is Easy 1875 at stand 26, pushing back.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Okay, so what I need to do is go
Ground.
ahead.
You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the
So
side.
they'll have to go
Have a good
slow
flight.
on this because of the snow.
Holding position waiting for the visual.
And
Thank
then
you and
left,
goodbye.
Right. Okay, so let's start the beacon light on. So we can start the engines. Start engine 1. Sorry, engine 2. Oh, transition altitude, I haven't put that in. What's the transition altitude? 5,000 feet. Oh, got reverses set for some reason. Engine 2 is available, engine 1. Well, that's firing up, we'll do a flight control test. full right, full left, full back, full right, rudders, full left, neutral, full right, good. Speed brakes, good. Oh, ground spoilers, flaps. While they're settling in, I'll set the pitch trim to 0.8. Flaps to full, good. Set the flaps back to 1. Lock the cabin door, predicted wind shear on. Engine 1 is available. Taxi light on. Turn strobe and landing lights on the runway. Okay, right, so we're going to take this slowly because of the snow on the ground. On. Make sure everything's on up here. Strobe on. Runway turn off lights on. Landing lights on. Pre-flight checklist. Speed brakes to max. Takeoff config test. All good to go. Let's go. Let's take off. Okay, spool up to 40. Stable. Flex. Let's go see Father Christmas. Speed alive. 80 knots. 100 knots. 20 knots. 140 knots. V1. Rotate. Tail strike. Positive climb. Gear up. Wasn't the best takeoff in the world, but here we go. Leave a climb. 1,300 feet. Autopilot on. best. I will get better.
$2,500.
So there's a bit of cloud out here now. What was that? Okay, start pre-landing checklist. Spoilers on. I won't ding the cabin until we do the turn at Vecchia. Actually, I'll ding them now. picked up the ILS, runways 5 miles in direction, can't see it at the moment. Guys on. Speed's dropped to 240. Speed down to 220. Straight. You can see on the Navigraph chart here where we are. So just about to make the right turn. This is relatively short. Check. Turn to flaps 4 on the final. And spoilers armed. Into right medium. Flaps 4 final. turn. Go around altitude is set at 2,500. Localizer check. Check unlocked. Just wait to get the glide slope. Six miles out. Gear down. Glide slope is captured. Feeding the rudders. Still can't see the runway. Headwind from the left, 4 miles out. There's the runway. To the left of number H, Hotel Bravo.
1,000.
1,000 feet.
1,000.
Left control.
Five hundred. 400. 100 above. 300. Minimum.
Minimums continue. Come on, get in the middle.
100.
100.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Reverse is set. Reverse is off. Braking manually, manual brakes. And exit the runway. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ravoniemi. be able to see Father Christmas. Okay. And that is it. We have parked. Hope you bleed on. Let the passengers disembark, shall we? Look at that, even managed to get a bit of snow on the tail. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining me for this flight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends. I've only just started, so any help would be much appreciated. Take care. Bye-bye.